Hello, my crafty friends. Today I am sharing my May 2024 sheetload of cards. Now, I didn't actually print the sheetload off. My craft room is a bit of a disaster right now, and I'm just not ready to try to make a path to the printer and clear it off and print those out. In fact, I probably won't get that done until it's time to print the June sheetload, and then I'll print them both at the same time. I did download it and used my iPad in my craft room so that I could get my measurements, etc. I will put the link in the description box below. So the sheetload is a sketch and cutting guide by Call Me Crafty Al, and she provides it free each month. And all you have to do is subscribe to her YouTube channel. So it doesn't cost you anything, but she does have a subscribers list. I can't think of the name of it right now, but anyhow, she does have a list that you can join, and you get lots of freebies if you choose to do that, and it's a good way to support her as well. So this month the yield is 8 cards, which is awesome, and you use 2 12 by 12 sheets of paper. Normally I work through pattern paper pads, and I still have the ones that I'm working on, but for these ones, I don't know, this paper just cheered me on. This is exactly what I felt like working with, and I used it all up. So there's the 2 sheets of it. There's this polka dot, and then the ones with the celebration words, and they are turned around. They're both from Pebbles, all the cake line, and one is called confetti and one is called words. So I have no scraps left over. I have some bonus cards to show you at the end of what I used with the leftover bits and pieces. With the yield being 8 cards, it's wonderful. I normally use a sheet load to make birthday cards to donate to my mom's old nursing home. I donate 25 birthday cards there a month, so being able to make 8 cards at a time is awesome. Now, I don't donate all of these at the same time because I don't want the residents to all have kind of the same card. So I generally work 4 months at a time. I have sturdy lunch bags that I line up in a trolley. So I could put like 2 and 2 in one month and 2 and 2 in the next month. And I just kind of work on that until I have my 25 cards, and then I bundle them all up and take them to the nursing home. These are so cheerful. And the turquoise cardstock is a cardstock that I've had for years and years. Back when we only had Office Depot to buy cardstock from. So that's going back, if you're Canadian, that's going back some years. Anyhow, the colors worked perfectly, and I was able to use it on these cards. So again, I'm pulling stuff out of my craft room and using what I have. The happy birthday, that comes from Magic Messages from Lawn Fawn. And I used a circle punch to punch it out, which I haven't done for a while. So this is 1 3/4 inch circle punch from Stampin' Up. So I just stamped all 8 of my sentiments, punched them out, and then I added them up with foam tape. Alicia at Call Me Crafty, they're just brilliant, these sheet loads. So these 2 cards are like opposites. This one has the large confetti print with the smaller word panel, and this one has the large word panel with the smaller confetti print. This one is closer to the sketch with something in the center, but for these 4, I didn't want to cover up the words. I just thought they added so much to the card. So I put this off to the side, but they're mounted with foam tape. Again, these are hand delivered to the residents, so I don't need to worry about bulk or card being too heavy. And then I had intended on adding some washi tape inside, but this stamp was so large, it really didn't need anything else. Because I used turquoise cardstock, I did add a white panel. But even with a white card base, if I've added a bunch of layers to the front and nothing to the back, the card just does not feel balanced to me. And I will generally, even on a white card base, add a white panel inside. So that stamp is a part of, this is called Here Comes Birthday Wishes from Pink Fresh Studio. And of course the blue stains the stamp. It's completely clean and uses and stamps cleanly with any color. And I'm sure I could buy a stamp cleaner to try to clean that off, but it doesn't bother me that much. I know that the stamp is clean and usable, but you can see I just cut off the hugs and kisses. So I can piece it back together and use that if I want as a single one, but without that, it's much more usable. I didn't think that the hugs and kisses was necessarily appropriate for the staff and the residents. So yeah, cutting that off gives me a much usable stamp, and I can still use them together, or now I can use them independently. So that's from Pink Fresh Studios. The ink is Catherine Pooler, and those are my 8 cards. So quick and easy. I could not believe how fast they went together. I actually did all the cutting on the 1st of May. The 1st is when Alicia shows her sheet load preview and her finished cards, and you can then download the sheet load. And then on the 2nd of the month, she has a full process video, and then the collaboration team, I'll share their videos. And she has a collaboration team for both YouTube and Instagram. And you'll be able to find that from the link that I have down below. So I was waiting for her. I've never made a fractured card before, and I was waiting for her process video to figure out how to line these up. But I tell you, once I saw that, it was like quick and easy. And as I said, I think these out of a foiled cardstock, I can't wait to make more of them. So then you have some pieces left over of the 12 by 12 sheets, and I didn't want them left over. I knew I was going to make birthday cards with them anyhow for the nursing home. I mean, they're obviously birthday papers, so I made 5 more cards out of my scraps. Now, I followed the cutting guide, but as I said, I did my cutting on the day before I watched her process video. I would suggest watching her process video before you do your cutting, because I had lots of 2-inch strips, and if I had done it the way she suggested, I would have had some big usable pieces. Now, with those big usable pieces, I probably only would have got 2 more cards. Because I had the narrower scraps, some of them are 2 inches, whatever the scraps were, I ended up with 5 cards. I just added the pieces together on a matted piece of cardstock. I glued the scraps onto the turquoise cardstock. So after you cut the borders, there's leftover cardstock. So I used that for a lot of the matting. And I just lined it up on the top and the left side. And then once I was happy with the layout of the 2 patterned papers, then I adhered them down and trimmed the top and the bottom so they were even. And then I added this rainbow holographic cardstock from Recollections, which is a Michaels brand, and that gives these ones a little bit of shimmer and shine. You deserve to be celebrated. That is from MFT's Twice the Wishes. And I'll show you the card fronts, and then I'll show you the inside. And I used this very, very old Sizzix. I just call it Dots. Yeah, I've had this, I think it was probably one of my very first embossing folders, like 100 years ago. So that's what I used to add some texture to the background. So I have that card, and that one's very similar. This one had some smaller pieces, so I used that. This one I wanted to kind of separate the two with a blue strip. Well, didn't I glue it on crooked? So in order to hide how lopsided or on an angle the blue was, I tried to hide that with strips of the rainbow holographic. And then I have a mini slimline. So the inside is Birthday Wishes all year long, and that is from a Stamps of Life set. Happy birthday for HSN. So these ones all have the same sentiment inside, and the washi tape, which I've had forever, and I don't know even who makes it. I've had it forever in my stash. For these ones, I added the washi tape, and it was longer than the card panel, wrapped it around the back, and then adhered the card panel down so the washi tape won't lift off at the top there. Now, as fun as it was to use up all of the scraps and not have any leftover bits and pieces, I have to tell you that making these 5 cards took twice as long as making the 8 sheet load cards. Like having the sheet load there with all of the cutting and the dimensions and the layout, it just makes things so quick and easy. So yes, I don't have any scraps and I do have 5 extra cards, but I was surprised at how much longer it took me to make these 5 than my 8 sheet load cards. So I have 13 cards that I can donate. They're cheerful, they're happy, and this is a really fun sheet load. Check out Call Me Crafty Al's May sheet load. That link is below. I will also have a coordinating blog post, and that link will be below. And that's it for me today.